Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us again. In case you don't know, I'm Rachel with Effortless Budgeting, and I'm a financial wellness coach. And I am joined by Amy Ruggieri, and I will let her quickly introduce herself.
Hi guys, Amy Ruggieri with the Ruggieri Group. I'm also in the financial space of teaching people how money works, licensed financial advisor, and just really excited to be here today and chatting with you, Rachel. We got some
Yeah.
good stuff coming up. It's going to
Yeah.
be a good talk today.
Yeah, I love it. And I think today we're talking about something that a lot of people don't often talk about or think about, and it's comparison shopping. So I think like just the first thing that popped into my head, Amy, when you suggested this was the dollar store. And people just assume things at the dollar store are the cheapest price. And even though it's out of my way and I'm not going to go there for anything else, I'm going to go there because that's the cheapest place to buy whatever, Kleenex or whatever you're buying. And I have found that is absolutely not the case. Of course, some things are going to be cheaper, but there are a lot of things that aren't. And it's that marketing, right, that they do that did it, and the name of it, it makes it sound like it's the most affordable place to be. But number one, if it's out of your way, you're spending extra time, extra gas, all that kind of stuff to get there. And number two, there's a really good chance you're actually not saving any money. So do that research before you go to that dollar store to make sure the
Yeah.
things you're looking for are actually more affordable there.
Yeah, it's such a good thing to make mention to, Rachel. And I know I was sharing with you a story of yesterday. I went to McDonald's drive-through thinking I would save some money. I don't do McDonald's very often. They used to have this dollar menu. And
Mm-hmm.
I remember way back when I could get $1, one of those little sausage, egg, and cheese burritos. Well, they're not $1 anymore. And it was funny because there's Panera directly across the street. And I thought to myself, that Panera, the last time I got that bagel, with the egg and cheese and bacon on it, it was so good. Like I remember being like, this is a really good sandwich. And I thought I was going to go to McDonald's and, it was going to be super cheap, in and out. And what I got, I could have paid $1 more to go to Panera and
Yeah.
get like night and day difference
Mm-hmm.
quality of food,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
We can all agree
Mm-hmm.
on that. There's a difference.
Yeah.
It would have tasted better. I felt bad about the purchase.
Yeah.
Had I
Yeah.
taken a minute to compare, right, and making a
Yeah.
rushed decision, and I think that's going to be a little bit of we'll talk about today,
Yeah.
not making rushed decisions, shopping for value when we're
Yeah.
comparing. I would have had a much better experience had I taken that little bit of time. So, I
Right.
think that's the point of the conversation, the
Yeah.
talk we'll have today.
Yeah. There's really
Perceived
two.
value
Right. Right.
in
Yeah.
comparison.
There's two pieces. One is saving money, and one is the value that you're getting out of the thing you're buying. So what you're saying, Amy, is that you would have actually spent $1 more going to Panera. You would have
Hands
felt
down.
really great about your purchase, as opposed to now you went to McDonald's and you spent, whatever, the $6, and you kind of felt like you were throwing that in the garbage because you didn't even really enjoy what you got. If you'd have spent another $1, yes, it's more money, but sometimes that's worth it. And it's just $1. Dollars add up. So I'm not saying that it doesn't.
Yep.
But when you're talking about feeling good about your purchases, that is so, so
Yeah.
important, because we want to feel good about the money we're spending, whether it be $1 or $3,000. Like we want to feel good about the money that we're spending. And you brought up something good before we started recording, is like a piece of furniture. You might go somewhere and find something that is good enough. This is
Right.
I have $100. It's all I have to spend. This is good enough. This will do the job. And I'll be honest, I have fallen into this trap.
Sure. We all do.
Yeah. And you buy it because it's $100. That's all you have. And you feel like you need it right this instant, right? And then you get home and 6 months later, you're like, I freaking hate this piece of furniture. I never liked it to begin with. I want something new. Where if you just think a little bit and say, is this something I desperately need right this instant? If not, perhaps I could wait until I have $200 to go buy this other piece of furniture that's actually going to be really impactful for my life. It's going to make me happy. I'm going to love seeing it and using it, and it's going to last me for a year, 2, 3, 4, as opposed to this $100 item I probably will no longer want, or maybe is not even made well and it won't even last that long.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think about that, if we just stop and you think about all the things that we consume, that we take in. I think this about where I sold cars for years. That was my career prior to this. And, people could say, I'm going to go buy a $15,000 or $20,000 car brand new compared to maybe something that's a better quality. That's 15 or 20,000 that's used.
Mhm.
A lot of people will think, oh, well, it's brand new, therefore it's a better quality. Well, it's a poor quality built vehicle.
Yeah.
That's the reason why it's brand new only that much. Where my sister-in-law did that. It was in the shop over and over and over. I mean, it was like the biggest nightmare, where we always buy our cars quality, pre-owned. I'm a Honda person because they're quality, they last, they hold their value.
Yeah.
And the reason why I knew that is I was in the business of comparison shopping for people. And so buying the quality used vehicle might last me for 5 or 10 years without any real major issues.
Yeah.
Because it was built quality to last.
Yeah.
And so we have to kind of watch ourselves, in the society that we live in. There's a lot of things that compete for our time and our attention, and they're not always the best quality decision long term. Money is a great resource. We work really hard for it, and it can do a lot for us, but we have to have the patience to compare a little and see, is this well spent?
Yeah, because you want to feel
long-term value, or am I just throwing money away? And I hate to say it, in a society right now, we're fast-paced and we're not paying attention to these things. And I literally watch people blow money.
Yeah.
And it's not helping them really get to where they want to go.
Well, and just like for folks listening, I just would love for you to think back of a few purchases you've made in the last year or two that you wish you wouldn't have made. Right. We all have those things. We all look around and say, that was a waste. I don't care if it was $1 or thousands of dollars, like that was a waste of money. Or think back to something you bought that you don't even have any longer because you decided you just don't want it anymore.
Yeah.
And so that's like, I know both of us, Amy, in our businesses, what we really want to try to do is obviously we want to educate people and help them understand like where money is going and don't be wasteful. But we also want people to enjoy the money that they have, so they're spending it on the things that are really meaningful for them. So yes, like for instance, healthy food is probably more expensive than crappy frozen stuff, but you're getting so much more value out of that health that it's worth the extra money. So this is, neither of us preach just pinch every penny and do everything you possibly can to save every single little last morsel, but pay attention and buy the things that you know are going to bring you happiness for longer term. I mean, it like breaks my heart when I go around taking my dogs for a walk in the morning and it's bulk garbage day and I see these people putting out perfectly good items. So first donate those things, but
there's still use, there's great use for that.
But those are, and like I said, those are perfectly good things, so there's a good chance those things are not super old, and they obviously are still like, I could, if I wasn't walking my dogs, there's many things that I would have just picked up and brought home with me. And there's a good chance that those people probably don't feel good about buying those particular items because they are now literally throwing them in the garbage. So that's what we want to avoid. We don't want to go to the dollar store because we think it's cheaper, because marketing is good and they're trying to tell, like you said, we're flooded with all these things. There's a lot of marketing tools out there too that work, and they work for a reason, but don't fall into that without doing your own research ahead of time.
Yeah, and that's where I think too, I'll add this is where having normalizing a money, this is one of the things that I'm really passionate about, normalizing the money conversation. People get really weird about talking about even the littlest things with money, and asking people, what do you do? Like, great example going along with the garbage stuff. I've got this buffet. It's in my kitchen now. It used to be in my living room. We used it for storage or whatever. I painted it this really pretty, like kind of tealy, kind of almost your wall color, Rachel. Similar to that, right? And it was free. It was
Yeah.
junk that somebody was getting rid of. It was free. I threw a little bit of paint on it. It cost me maybe $40 or $50, and it was splurging on paint. Got a
Mhm.
little bit of new hardware. Do you know this thing is probably 80 years old?
Yeah,
And
that's
I get
awesome.
compliments almost every single time somebody walks into my house.
Awesome.
And that's the stuff that people are like, they're walking by, like,
Throwing
be
away.
creative. And I share these stories with people around me because I want them to know there's another way.
Yeah.
This stuff isn't the what we talk about on these, little talks that we have. You're not going to find this unless you're looking for it.
Right.
You got to be looking for it. You got to take a little bit of responsibility. It's like money doesn't just
Yeah.
do its own thing for us.
Right.
We have to be the ones giving it the direction.
Yeah.
And that means sometimes thinking outside of the box. It means sometimes putting in a little bit of work, shopping your auto and homeowners insurance every
Yeah.
6 to 12 months. Okay, it's a little bit of work. Make a couple phone calls around. I know we do a shopping service where we shop 20 carriers all in one
Yeah.
phone call.
That's what I was going to say. You don't even have to do it. Like, I don't do my own. I reach out to my agent, and if I don't like what he or she says, then I reach out to a different agent.
Get 2 or 3 different quotes.
Yeah. Right.
Just say maybe, monthly or quarterly, I invest 20, 30 minutes, an hour of time into, have a little bit of a plan. It doesn't have to be I'm doing all these changes and making all these comparisons all at once.
Right. Right.
Do a Google search. What are the top things that people, overspend on? And then look at your personal situation. Am I overspending? What other ways can I comparison shop?
Yeah.
How else can I look around and kind of bring some of those down or make things stretch a little bit longer?
Yeah.
There's a lot of different things. Prescriptions, I think about that. I have an asthma inhaler I prescribe. I have to once a month refill it. We don't have insurance that pays for it. It's $180 inhaler once a month. Guess what I do? Once a month, I go on GoodRx and I'll find it sometimes for $85.
Yeah.
Or $110. And yeah, it takes me 10 minutes of doing a little whatever. Right. But that 10 minutes is going to save me a lot of money over the period of time. Why would I overspend if I don't have to?
Right. And once you do it, you get like in more of a habit, and it takes less time, and it becomes sort of, and do it while you're watching TV or, I mean, like, you don't have
way of life.
Yeah.
Yeah. On your lunch break,
yeah.
Whatever. Instead of scrolling Facebook, maybe you invest in yourself.
Right. Yeah. Invest in yourself. I love it. Just the other day, it's so easy to shop on Amazon. And just the other day, I was looking for the shampoo that I buy for my crazy curls. And I looked at it up on Amazon and I went, what happened? Because I previously bought it on Amazon, and I'm like, I'm not going to just click yes, because this seems crazy to me. So I looked it up on Target, and it was literally half the price as it was on Amazon. So I know that it can seem like a lot, but just because you bought something one time in this place doesn't mean that it's still the best price. Because the last time I bought it on Amazon, it was not that price. And so stores get different inventory, and they also like marketing, can like sort of, they can decide to raise prices. And so, and I didn't look around at 18 different stores. I literally went to Amazon, felt some shock, and almost passed out. Then I went to Target, and it was just, that was the price I normally am used to paying. So I just bought it. I didn't go to Walmart because I figured it'd probably be pennies.
Right. You don't have to, but it's the little stuff. You don't have to get so deep.
But I just want to say one real quick thing, and then we can probably wrap it up. But you mentioned paint, and that you spent, you splurged on paint. That is a very good example of something you should splurge on depending on what you're painting. So
I've learned that over the years.
Yes. So you can buy cheap paint and paint your walls, but you know what? In less than a year, you're probably going to have to paint them again, and you're not actually saving any money in the long run. I mean, I buy nice paint now when I'm painting, and years and years and years and years go by, and I still feel like it looks good. So, those are just, and you live and learn sometimes, right? We all do that. But those are the types of things you need to like decide, like, these are the things that are going to bring me more value and I'm going to feel better about. And it's still important to compare it. Like, don't only buy paint at, Lowe's because you feel like that's the best place. Like, there could be other options, but these are the things I'm probably going to spend a little extra money on because they're really important to me. And then, these other things, like I have bought, I refuse to sorry, I hope Kleenex brand isn't listening to me, but I refuse to buy the Kleenex brand of tissues because they are no better than Puffs, but I also don't buy the generic ones because I don't like them.
Right.
So, you know what I mean? Like you also have to do with what you like. It's like some people are perfectly fine with cheap tissues. I am not, but I'm also not, I don't think Kleenex is any better than Puffs, and Puffs are cheaper. So, you know, I mean, you have to see like what you like, and just because like that's how I feel doesn't mean that's how you should feel.
Yeah.
But try some things, try the generic brand of something. If you don't like it, well, then you know that like it's worth it for you to spend a little bit more money on the
and I think that's really a big thing with comparison. I think a lot of people, it's like using the word budget. People always equate the word budget into, oh, I've got to restrict, where it's just giving a direction and a plan to your money. It's the same thing with comparison. Comparison always isn't about what can I get cheaper.
Right.
Because we know that with a lot of things. Dish soap, you don't buy the cheap dish soap because I use twice as much and I go through it faster because it doesn't work as well, right? Laundry soap, toilet paper, some things it's, I'm going to use more of because it's a lower quality, or I'm not going to have as good of experience. And it's got to be it's not always about that. It's sometimes more about the value.
Right. Yeah. It's not just the upfront cost. It's the value. So if you take anything away from this, just remember, it's not always only the upfront cost. It's also the value of what you're getting. So don't simply say, well, this is 10 cents or $1 or $5 cheaper. Think a little bit farther into, but is it worth it for me to save that money? And if it is, great. If it's not, great. I want you to feel good about what you're spending your money on.
Yeah. That's all it is.
Okay, great. Well, thanks everyone for listening. I hope folks are maybe going online to and it's so easy to go online to different websites and just check prices super quick. So hopefully people are doing that, and hopefully people are feeling better about the money that they're spending.
Yeah, and if you guys need ideas on this stuff, reach out. Both of us are an open book. We'd love to share what we're doing, what we help our clients to do. Obviously, kind of being an expert in this area, we realize it's not always easy to start and know where to start. So if we can be a help, a support, a guide to you in that way, definitely it's something that we're both very passionate about. We have a lot of tools and resources in our toolkit that we would love to pass along.
Yeah, love it. Thanks, Amy. Okay, thanks everyone. Take care.